Tell us a little bit about the investment that it takes to get the canoe business.
Oh, it takes quite an investment. When I first started, my canoes were $195, Grumman's, which that's what we run. They're the best canoe on the market. And now they're running 3.5. And with the way the canoe rentals has went, at first we only run pickup trucks and delivered the canoes. We didn't handle the people. But now with the competition and the pressure, we all went to buses and vans and this sort of thing, and so you're tying more up in haul equipment. I'm running 2 buses now and 2 vans and 2 pickups. And your buses will run you, if you buy a good used bus, around $5,000. And used vans, new vans are $7,000. Pickups are $7,000. And paddles and cushions have risen in price till they're running around $6.50 to $7 an item now. And I'm running about 250 cushions and paddles, which they're used up through the summer, and you've got to replace them again in the winter. And also the insurance market is getting on us pretty high. They put us on commercial risk seating capacity, like on Greyhounds. And insurance is out of hand now. It's costing us about $1,600 a vehicle for just a 6-month summer insurance. And we're still hauling on the old rate that we hauled on 8 years ago, and which we can't raise it unless the government says we can. We're under control of the government, permitted canoe rentals are. And we have to go through them before we raise anything, and we're still hauling on the old rate, which we're losing money on our hauls now. I run a total up the other day, a light inventory, and I had about $64,000 in equipment, buildings, in my canoe rental.
Could you tell us a little bit again about the control of the government and your rates?
Well, when the Ozark National Scenic Riverways became effective, they asked us to form a canoe association. And then they gave us permits for a certain amount of canoes, and in which they come up with a total that we should have to handle the people. And they gave us a government permit for it. And this is what we're allowed to run. This was to control the flow of traffic on the river. Well, about 4 years ago, the outlaw canoe rentals, as they're called, started in operation, and they won a case in court that says that they can operate. Well, they're running all they want to, and we're still under the government control. And we was paying a flat permit fee, and this year they're rescheduling us, and they put us on a percentage of our total gross. This is for the use of the river. So they're still regulating us, but not the other rentals.
Are they, what about the prices again?
Well, the prices we established back, well, we had a rate going when this association and the permit system came in. And at that time it was $6 a canoe, and still on the present haul rate. That was in '69, it was still $6. Since '69, we have risen $3 in the rental rate. And we had to negotiate for this. And the last raise we got was 3 years ago. We had worked up to 8, and 3 years ago we got $1 raise. And it took us 3 years to get it. They're still regulating the price on us, in which They regulate the maximum, not the minimum. They say the minimum is up to us. And that was the reason that we formed the association. Cut rate prices to try to steal your customers. The smaller rentals that didn't have their business built up, that was to keep them from giving the cut rate prices.
Is the competition getting a lot more?
The competition is, when it first started, there was about 20% non-permitted canoes and 80% permitted. And now it's running about 50-50. There's as many non-permitted canoes as there is permitted right now. The competition is much stronger, and in which they don't have a price control on them.
Are there a lot more people coming down to the river now, do you think?
Oh yes, a lot more people.
Can you tell us just a little bit about how it's increased?
Well, it has increased. I'll go back to the period that I started in business in '69. I started with 10 canoes. The next year I went to 25. The next year to 35, and the next year to 50. And now at present I'm running 75 canoes and could rent, I would say, another 25 to 50 on any given weekend. Now that's the increase of the people on the river since '69.
You think there's too many people getting in here, or is it going to be limited?
Well, there's not too many now. We have a lot of canoes on the river, but they're spread out, and they don't jam up that much nor see that many. But if the increase doesn't stop, in the future there's going to be too many.
86.
What do you think about the people around here? Have you run into any opposition on the natives around here that don't like canoes on the river?
Yes, we still have opposition. Now, at first we had a lot of opposition, but now it's down to a minimum. And the opposition we have is among the local people that runs their john boats and fishes. There's getting to be so much canoe traffic on this upper end that the fishing is cut down. There's too much racket, and cuts down on the fishing. Now, they're crowding the john boats out. That's not really happening. The height of the water is pushing the john boats lower down. Our water level gets a little lower every year, and the john boats just move on downstream to where they have enough water to run, or have until this year. Now then, they developed a new jet unit that goes on the lower unit of an outboard motor that is putting the john boats back upstream. They can run at about 3 inches of water now with the jet unit. And so that's moving them back upstream, and we're getting a little conflict this year between the john boaters and the canoers because the john boats are moving back upriver.
What about the people in this area that feel like the river was there? Did you have any land along the river at all?
No, I didn't own any land along the river. When this first started, now, before the Ozark Scenic Riverways become full effective, I did own a lot on the river, and in which I sold it. I say I sold it. I gave the government a scenic easement on it when they come in for $1, and then later on I sold the lot, the easement, to a fella, and that's all I own. But there was a lot of local opposition among the farmers that lived on the river. A lot.
Do you think, all total, that the scenic riverways and the tourists coming in the area has been good for the county or bad?
I think it's been very good for the county. Very good. We're getting a capacity of people now that's hard to handle. And it's been real good for the economy. Lots of people are working, And even among the canoe rentals, every canoe rental's employing 6 or 7 people now, where at first they didn't employ over 2 or 3. We're getting a capacity of people that's overflowing the campgrounds that the Park Service has. And the Park Service is not really doing their part as to the campgrounds. They could invest a little more in the campgrounds and make them a little nicer and bigger for the people, and in which they aren't doing.